Hello, and thank you for attending SAGE Alerts and Workflow video-based training. Please note that this is video-based training, and content is for training purposes only and intended for new and existing SAGE Alerts and Workflow customers.
Hi, this is Russ Lesko. Welcome to another training video on using the alert and automation tool. We are still in the general topic of designing events, and today we are going to talk about charts. Now, in many ways, charts are going to be very similar to reports in terms of the basic processes and so forth that is going to be used to build them. But like so much in an event, it is driven from a trigger or a query. And we're going to begin by creating a query that is going to be used to define and deliver the content of the chart that we are going to create. So let's go back to our ERP applications over here that we've been using as our application. And I'm going to come over here to queries. And what we're going to do today is we're going to look at a chart that I've created that is going to summarize the value of inventory by certain groupings of inventory. And in this ERP system, it's going to be called a product category. So let's go to the query. Most of this, if you've been looking at the other training videos, should be very familiar to you. We have our description of this query. We do give you a little tip sometimes that maybe if the query is one that is specifically designed to either be a linked query or a query that's going to be used for a chart, then it might be a good idea to put it in the description so that you can find it easily in the tree of applications over here on the left. We will have columns that we're going to be using, and we are going to define basically two columns that are going to be used in the chart. And these charts are simple two-dimensional or horizontal, vertical, or pie charts that are going to be able to be created in the alert and automation tool and be included in a deliverable. So as you can see, I've created one table in this particular ERP system. We have a grouping that is assigned to inventory items. It's called a product category. And I've also created a simple little equation here to be able to give me the total value of what is currently on hand of a given part. I might still even use, now again, if I was linking to multiple tables, I would still use the linking process here. I do have a couple filters I've set up just to sort of simplify this one. I am looking for items where the quantity on hand is greater than 0 because I don't want to just have a long or a very messy chart that might show items that are still in the system but we have no inventory. I am singling out one particular warehouse, and down below here I am also going to be filtering that some of my items in my database don't have product categories assigned to them, so I want to exclude them from what's going to be returned, and they will be excluded. So in completing this, if I go over here and just check with my preview, you'll see that I have my simple two categories that are set up here, or two columns that are going to be used to prepare my chart. One being the product category, and then I have the summarized amount for the actual preview. Actually, I should have come over here back to columns. I point out here that since I'm totaling the inventory value for a product category, that I do want to summarize it into that one line for that product category, and so that's why I chose the column type to be product category as opposed to normal. Okay, so I do have my I do have my basic 2 columns set up. So my query is done, and now I'll be ready to be able to create a chart. As I said before, a chart is very similar to a report in the sense that we would create crystal reports or SSRS reports over here and have them be part of this application, and therefore be available for any event that you create from below this particular application. And we'll do the same with charts. Before I show you the one I've completed, I'm going to just make believe I'm creating a new one. And this is where you'll assign basically the type of chart it's going to be, and you have there will be eventually more selections, but you can have pie or column charts, and then depending on what you choose over here, they can be different types of charts. The rest I'll show you as we look at the one that I've already completed. So let me come out of here and let me go to the edit part of this chart, and you'll see what I've done. So I selected this to be a pie chart, making it 3-dimensional. It's multicolored. It could have a chart title or not. For the value by product category. And we do have the 2 axes, the vertical axis and the horizontal axis. Obviously that would be if I was using a column or a line type chart. So with that, I'm going to then go over and select my query or queries, which you could have multiple queries as part of a chart as well. But the one I've created, you can see here, as part of that application of ERP2. I have no parameters that have to be filled in, so therefore I will just go and display my chart. And there you can see it's a very handy tool here where you can show the charts or as you're creating it and you're just looking at it and you just want to play around a little bit and maybe, well, what if I made it a column chart? You know, just come over here and switch over here into a column chart. May not like that a lot. Maybe if I change from 3D to just flat, it might look a little better. Not much. So maybe I'll leave it as a pie chart. Perhaps leave it as 3D. Come over here, look at it again. I still think it's a little cramped over here. Although it tends to work, it's showing me the percentage for a given product category. I do have quite a few in this example. I can hover right over it and take a look at the raw dollar value as well very easily. Maybe I could change it to where I'm going to use a legend. Maybe that might make it look a little bit better. That, you know, so-so. It's, you know, I still have quite a few product categories. This is an example where I could have perhaps created a number of different charts and maybe even grouped the product categories in a way for individual charts if I wanted to, considering I have so many. So let's go back to the original 3D. I just wanted to really show that you do have the varieties that you can choose and change, and then if and when you change them, you'll just simply show the chart here and just sort of preview it and look at it and fine-tune it just the way that you would like. So this would be updated. It is already saved, so I'm not going to do that again. I am going to go over now and go to an event. So now I'm ready. I have this chart in my library of charts that I have for this particular application. Same with reports. Some of the earlier training videos, you might remember the report, the crystal report, or it could be an SSRS type report. And as I said, charts are very much like reports in the way that they are attached to an event. And I'm just going to pick an event here. This has anything to do really with inventory, but just to show that down here in the deliverable section, I would choose a chart. And I already have here, so this chart, I can indicate the kind of format that I would like this chart to be included in this email. And you see I have 4 different formats that I can use. And now this is now a deliverable that is all set to go with this particular event. Since I'm using email and I am including reports, then charts would be included with reports as well. So that's the basic process of creating a chart. And then the chart will have a query behind it. You might have identify it in a special way so you know that it's a query that's only really returning 2 columns that are going to be used in this chart. And then you just have your collection of charts available here that you can choose from if you want to include them into an event. So thank you for joining me, and good luck with creating and attaching charts to your events.
Thank you for attending Sage Alerts and Workflow video-based training.